5. See, I can count. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Monday Club. Here we go.
Well, but hold on, look, look.
What's wrong?
Gandalf, keep her in check.
A Monday Club.
No,
never met.
Gandalf, whoa, no, not yet. We've just started. I'm just saying.
Why are you prodding me then?
Well, keep the monkey under wraps. Look, will you stop it? Right, anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, a big hello to you. It's great to see you, and I hope I find you well. I'm Jenny Kirk, welcoming you up here to Weir Yard. I've got Grunksy, the friendly toaster, who is here to enjoy tonight's Monday Club live stream. Don't forget to hit that like button, it's really important. Share the stream to social media. It's also very important to let people know that the original and best live stream about model railways here in the UK is up and running, ready to go, and all are welcome. And if you haven't already done so, then do please consider subscribing to the channel. It turns out some of you aren't subscribed, and you should be. So big hello, Richard Swiderski, Valis56XX, JTG, Werewolf, Yaharic, Chip Rockwell, Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, Patrick Ling, Ben Tullett, Caroline Rogers, Simon Snow, Jordan Hunter, Mike Lane, TT120, Flymer Chairman 1, John Pinney, Anthony Ilmson TT, Dave Holloway, Patrick Ling, RG Models 86, Robert Becking, Marcus Muggins, Dean Fielding, Awesome Bricks, Aaronville, Simon Train's Mother Railway Showcase, Warbler Productions, who says, I got to see a Class 11 on Saturday. Yes, I saw the picture you shared of it, looking a bit down at heel, but apparently it's due to be overhauled this year too.
Yeah, I was a bit upset about seeing that.
Yeah, it came from Tilcon Quarry at Grassington, I believe. Andy Fryers Junction, big hello to you. Blackpool Steve, Jamie Smith, PN Motorsport Trains, Joe Smith, Andrew L, Hermitage Road, Dave Scott Railways, Harry Cedric, Hillside Junction. Gavin Blackburn says subscribed and vaccinated. We'll take that. That's close enough. Southern Train Girl, hello to you. It's great to see you all. So, what are we wishing for? And I'm not just talking about the fact that Hornby's 2025 announcements are tomorrow morning. We will be live streaming to cover that. But in general, what would you like to see from retailers as we progress? Not retail, well, that's where you probably buy them from, but what would you be looking forward to perhaps seeing announced from manufacturers as the year progresses on through? And one of the things that I do get asked a huge amount by people is, do you think they'll run out of prototypes to mod? Stop that! Look, hold on. Look.
We haven't done the intro.
Yeah, well, it can wait. So,
she's on a roll.
I am on a roll. Don't
she's on a sausage roll.
Don't harsh my buzz, man. But yeah, this I get asked an awful lot. Do you think they'll run out of prototypes to model?
Yes, eventually.
No. Well, not for like hundreds of years. At the even at this greatly accelerated rate, there are so many prototypes that have never ever been modelled before, and some of them are actually fairly obvious ones. Like, so for example,
what voice was that?
I don't know. Like the D34, right? Just to give an example, D34, the Glen. There's a preserved example, long-lasting North British Railways locomotive, never been seen, ready to run. J6, whilst there's no surviving ones, it was a very long-lasting 060 and tender, and because it came from the Great Northern Railway, it's got that very, very distinctive cab style, which really does set it apart from a lot of the other 060 and tenders that have been released over the years. So really, there's so much to go on. Right, let's have a look and see very quickly. Miller Watson says, evening, will definitely a 4-core and perhaps a 2-null or a 4-sub. Actually, yeah, I could see some of those. There are preserved examples. Greg's is in the house, says Will Tucko. Hashtag sausages for legal and tax purposes. Chip Rockwell says the Marriott C17 M&GN Class A Atlantic tank engines. JL Railways, thank you so much for your generosity. Very kindly donated $4.99 on the super chat. Says, hey Jenny and Zoe, how's you? Just letting you know, Black Prince is £149 at TMC. I know, we did a video on that.
It's still £149, or it's just become back down to it. Either way, great price.
If you follow the link from my video, I get a little bit of a kickback. Somebody said Y7. That's the one that looks like the J70, but it's an 040. But I'm getting stern looks from Gandalf. So, roll VT.
Welcome to the Monday Club, your online model rail club for all the news, gossip, layout tours and more, with your host, broadcaster and model maker, Jennifer Kirk.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey. So, welcome back, and a huge thank you to TMC, the Model Centre, for making it possible for us to keep the lights on and keep doing the Monday Club. Now, we just had a quick question from Ham Shackleton. Says, how do I force a decoder back to address number 3 when the controller keeps saying it can't read it? Well, first things first, do make sure that you haven't got a loose connection somewhere. It may be it can't read it because there's a wire that's got a dry solder joint. This tends to be something that happens when you've got 8-pin decoders, because they're on like a wiring loom and you can find that solder just cracks. So do check that, because if it's effectively disconnected from the track, there isn't anything you can do until you fix that to get it to reset itself. Failing that, then on the programming track, select to write CV and then choose CV8 and write 8 to CV8, and that is like the force reset, and then see how you go from there. So anyway, Ben Tullett says, I have a good hint for KR models, oddball one-off locomotives, a certain steam loco called Dun Robin. Oh, is that the one? That was the privately owned one up it was up sort of Montrose way, Brechin, and it is preserved, I believe. Is that the one that's over Keeping Wadden Company in Canada? There's like dim memories on that, but you'd have to speak to KR Models. I'm not sure whether they want to keep doing just oddballs. But RG Models 86 says, Rapido trains seem to be hinting at something Scottish and something Southern. I saw that, yes. Now, I don't know for certain, but my guess on this would actually be a D40. And the reason I say this is...
Are they the ones that got to number 1 with Red Wine?
No, that's UB40. But the D40, Great North of Scotland Railway 440, lasted right through into BR days. Gordon Highlander is preserved in well, certainly when it was first preserved. It was repainted into Great North of Scotland Railway Holly Green. A livery it didn't actually ever carry in traffic. But... I think it was 5 members of the class were sold upon being built to the Southeastern and Chatham Railway, where they became their G class. and whilst the G-Class didn't fare as well, I think they were all withdrawn by the late 1920s, early 1930s, something like that. That does that kind of fulfills the cryptic hinting that has come from Rapido. I believe there might also be a London and South Western Railway tank loco, which was, I'm guessing it's another one that was built by Dubs in Glasgow, and pretty much like an off-the-peg design, which was also used by one of the railway companies up in Scotland. But the one which immediately springs to mind for me that fits the bill is the D40. And again, going back to what we were talking about will they ever run out of prototypes? Well, the D40 is another locomotive where there's a preserved example, long lasting. I think they were built about in the late 1890s and weren't removed from traffic with British Railways until late 1950s. I think it was 1958 for the very last one, and it's never been offered in model form. So, what am I being handed?
So top 10 ideas. I'll be back with another drink for you.
Simon Pitcher, our great friend of the channel, has very generously donated a lot of locomotives. In fact, he's sent loads to Iron Horse Railways as well. I know Iron Horse has been very, very grateful for the generosity that Simon's shown him, but also he sent, there's about 6 or 7 locos my way. I'm very, very grateful for that. But Simon says Daypole stroke Lionheart to produce a Southern Q1 in O gauge or an Isle of Wight O2 in O, pretty please. I think the Q1 might be very expensive, but I could see the O2 potentially being in Lionheart's wheelhouse. Jennifer Horton has actually got a full of... somebody's been thinking a lot about this. So, number 1, Sentinel Camel Steam Rail Car, LNER, Cheshire Lines Committee, LMS or Isle of Axholme. Number 2, the W&L, Earl or Countess. So that's the Welshpool and Llanfair. Llanfair. Welshpool and Llanfair, I think that's how you pronounce it. Number 3, the SLR stroke W&L Hunslet 260. A lot of narrow gauge on here. Number 4, modern tamping machine. The Lilliput 07 is HO scale, and it's actually a 1970s design. Yeah, I am aware that that is a HO model. It still looks quite nice. Number 5, Festiniog Railway Mountaineer Alco. Number 6, Stevenson's Planet. Number 7, Colas Class 43. Number 8, De Winton Vertical Boiler. Number 9, Mersey Railway 064 Tank. And number 10, I could get behind this, the Darjeeling Himalayan B class. Yes, certainly for 009, I think the Darjeeling Railways B class, very, very pretty locomotives. There is one preserved example outside of India, and that's actually at Statfold Barn. DJK666 says, the one remaining 4 sub is at Margate, so easy for Hornby to produce. Simon Trains Mullerow Showcase says, was on the mid-Cheshire line today. Some impressive stations. Absolutely. Warbler Productions says, I really do want an industrial of Vivian Garrett. There has to be one announced sooner or later. Yeah, that's the 0440. There's a preserved example, but I think there was a few of them built. Certainly in narrow gauge, that might be a compromise with what would undoubtedly be a huge price tag with a South African Railways narrow gauge Garrett. Although actually, a lot of the manufacturers are at great pains to point out that the difference in price to tool up and make a small locomotive versus a large locomotive isn't as big as you might think. RG Models 86 says, I agree with the Welshpool and Llanfair duo in 009. Zantex says, when they get back to me, I'm going to hand deliver them. I think I've come in halfway through a conversation there. Anthony Middleport Junction, big hello to you. DJK666 says, I'm definitely looking for some of the Revolution coaches. Stevie Film says, what are your thoughts on the clear coupling bar on the Acura scale tension locks? Seems effective, although some angles and lighting, they seem to glow and stick out more than the black one blending in. I think some people will definitely appreciate that, But for me, I have to say, I'm not massively bothered by the black tension locks. And you're still going to have the black kind of chopper part of that, because that is stamped out of metal and finished in a kind of a black colour. So I'm at the camp that I'll stick with the regular black ones. I see it as being, to some degree, a solution looking for a problem, although I know a lot of people will appreciate it.
I have to admit, the black ones, for the most part, when I'm looking at a train going
They
past,
just blend in.
I don't see them. They do blend in.
Yeah. NYMR News says, what do you think to the Acura scale austerity and when are they coming? I don't know exactly when they're coming. I think they are quite far advanced. We have seen livery samples comparatively recently. That normally means that they're probably within the next year. I know that sounds like a long time, but oh my word, thank you so much. John Copping very generously donated £10 on the super chat. Says, I'd love to see some LBSCR coaches as used on the Isle of Wight. Absolutely. We've got so many really quite fancy LBSCR locomotives with the H1, the H2, the E4, just to think of 3. Plus we've got loads of Terriers. And whilst we've had the kind of generic 4 and 6 wheelers, I think, they're good and all that. But I think, yes, you're right. Bogey coaches, definitely. I would say that that's probably something that we would see from maybe we'll see that from Kernow Model Centre or EFE Rail would be my guesses. Breeze 707 says, I would like to see LBSCR Class C2X 060. I know Gladstone as well, which is an 042. Is that the B1? That always comes high on wish lists. And I'd agree with that, actually. Again, another preserved locomotive that's never been done before, ready to run. Anthony Neal says, Jenny, have you not fancied one of the Hornby steam models yet? Yes, but price is always an issue. And yes, Raymond Leggs, it's always fast chatter when we're wish listing. Bob Ballard says, don't forget the Ellis Clark WD210 looking very nice indeed. Yes, I suspect that that's going to win Steam Loco of the Year in all of the different polls. I have a feeling
it's going to floor a lot of people when you see it.
Yes.
Ellis Clark has a tendency to go all in for
there's no messing about.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's like do it properly or not at all, I think is very much their watchword. Zantex says, can a moderator put slow mode on, please? What is slow mode?
No, we can't, because last time we did that, people got annoyed that people couldn't talk.
Yeah, all I could say is you have to just scroll back a little bit.
It's annoying as hell, but what can I do? Because it's going to annoy people either way.
Simon Pitcher says lots of Southern fans on tonight. Absolutely, a C12 is one, which is like that lovely little. Was it an 220 or was it an 040? I can never remember. Little tiny shunters, certainly very interesting. The R1, the former Southeastern Railway R1s. They were actually done by Hornby 00 back in the 1960s. Their very first releases in 2-rail were a black and a green R1, very primitive by modern standards. They were perpetuated by Wren, but again, very primitive models, never seen a further release. I would have thought that that's probably well within Hornby's wheelhouse. Geographically, it's in their area, and in terms of heritage, you're looking at a model that was a Hornby 00 model, so I think that they would say that's like, yes, that's one for us. So still waiting to see. Yes, there we are. Southern Triangle says, I love to see this Southeastern Railway R1, definitely. J. Paul Anderson asks for the London South Western Railway C14. I must admit, my area of, I'm not going to say expertise because that implies I know lots, but the area which I know more than about than
your area of knowledge.
My area of knowledge is very firmly turned into the LNER area. So I must admit, there's a few southern locomotives that people suggest. It's that I'm not quite sure what they are.
Wow, because I would have always said you're a southern girl because of the love of the colours. You're always loving the Southern Rail colours.
Do like the colours and such like, particularly LBSCR. The E2s, RG models 86. I think we will see those, the LBSCR E2s, regardless of the obvious Thomas connection. But of course, Hornby had an E2 model in their range in the 70s, and that was the tooling that was adapted into the Thomas model. And I have to be honest with you that I'm surprised it hasn't appeared since. That may be one that we'd see from Bachmann. I've got a gut feeling on that. NYMR News says I recently picked up a Black 5 with steam generator. Yeah, the Black 5 and the W1s have come fast and furious. They do look like they're doing pretty well. GWR Bulldog says Hermitage Road. Yes. Dave Scott Railways. Any meetup planned for Model Rail Scotland on the Friday? I don't know. I won't be at Model Rail Scotland, but as always, wear your
this year anyway.
Yeah. As always, wear your Monday Club badge so that you can spot each other in a crowd. Also, other merch is available like T-shirts. Very easy to be spotted in T-shirts and hoodies. It's quite cold this time of year, especially up in Scotland. So maybe consider a lovely Gronk It Up hoodie. But we have news on the pin badges, don't we?
Yeah, we're down to 20.
We're down to the last 20 green pin badges.
If you want one, it really is.
Yeah, it's now or never. So
and I know there might be someone watching from Australia. I have got your email about your address, and I'm looking into why it hasn't arrived yet, but chances are it's just due to post.
Yeah, for anybody on the other side of the world, it does take a while for some things to get over there. But yes, the final 20 Monday Club green badges, we've already put an order in for the next ones. They're going to be a kind of a crimson lake colour, which is basically a sort of a maroony colour. Basically, if you see an LMS maroon locomotive, that colour is what we're gone for. So they are on order. Andy Fryers Junction also says, I've got 10 available in the shop. Why have you still got 10? You should have been flogging those with every sale.
Should have been whipping people to get rid of them.
Yes, come on, buy. Zantek says, I'm waiting on 4 bogies for a Kato model from Japan. Ordered them 2 days before New Year. Still waiting. Unfortunately, overseas postage, international postage can be...
Especially at Christmas and New Year. I once sent a Christmas card to someone in Austria. I sent it before Christmas. It got there in the middle of January.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yes, PN Motorsport Train says, my Monday Club badge worked a treat in Great Eastern last Friday.
Excellent.
Also, can we just... we will be doing a proper announcement about it, but the Colne Valley Railway very kindly has agreed to do a 10% discount for anybody showing their Monday Club pin badge off their entry fee. So if you're in that area going to visit the Colne Valley Railway, don't forget to wear your Monday Club pin badge. We will be doing a little post for them at some point. I'm waiting for Ollie to send me the details. But just a little sneak preview. We are adding to the list of perks with the Monday Club badge. So
before you go any further, Jen.
Oh yeah, hold on. Before it goes off the top, Leslie Gilpin Railways says a London and North Western Railway George V or Prince of Wales would look nice with Bachmann's London and North Western Railway.
That would be nice. Yes.
Carriages, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to those. Right, what are we looking at?
So this is from Daypol. This was an £8 thing I got from Nuffy's Models.
Oh, when did you get that?
Last Wednesday.
Oh,
built it the same day. It's a mock Tudor cottage.
That thatch will be quite interesting. Oh, you've done a boo-boo.
What?
I think you've put the windows in backwards.
Yes, I thought I had as well. But the instructions tell you to put them on the outside. As if they're supposed to be like that. Because when you look at them from the inside, it doesn't look right.
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
So I'm going to play it as if it's supposed to be like that.
NYMR News. The Hornby announcements are tomorrow at 8 a.m. We're going to be looking to be doing a live stream, so we'll be live then.
Yes.
So you can come and join and we'll work through them with a bit of a discussion about them as they are revealed. Jeff Hammond, Flint Hills Model Railway says, Sorry I'm late. Hold on, Gandalf.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Thank you.
So for those of you who are wondering...
Oh,
that's
Barry
what
Wendon as well says sorry they're late. Don't forget to hit the like button as well as subscribing if you're not already done so.
I'm really impressed with this.
Right, Raymond Legg says a Chinese company called Hanfly sells a lot of ex-model powertrains as well. Model Power, remember those from the 90s? They were particularly good for US outline stuff. I actually had a few gondolas and such like that my father brought back from Las Vegas, a model shop in Las Vegas in the 90s. And I'll be honest with you.
So what's...
Compared with... This was sort of like early 90s, and compared with what you could get over here at the time, it was Quantum Leap. It was just such an amazing model. And they were like... I think it was only paying like $3.99 a wagon.
Everyone says I'm right and you were wrong.
Oh, okay.
About the windows.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Big hello to New Junction. He says he likes the cottage.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's some really nice models actually.
Dave will do some great
there.
stuff. I'm going to get some more of those because I'm going to use them for wargaming.
Yeah, and also it's like the trick is in how you paint them.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the entire thing with a sand-coloured primer because that will work really nicely as mortar on the brickwork. And also a base coat for the thatch.
Well, it's like timber frame, so it would be sort of like an off-white in between, and then like very, very dark, like a creosote colour.
I'm actually going to mix a very small amount of black into the deepest brown I've got.
It's going to be like burnt umber with black.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people saying LBSC Gladstone and a D1. Well, the D1... That's already available through Rails, if that's the D1 we're talking about. The 440, which was the 21 of the D class, were rebuilt by, was it Richard Mansell, into the D1s. They've already been done in model form. They were made by Daypol for Rails. I think they've still actually got some for sale, so if that's a must-have item, you can just buy it now. 57305 Northern Princess says, I want to rake of LNER Mark IVs in Oxblood Swallow livery. Excellent. NYMR News says, what do you think of headboards, Jenny? You used to be able to get them. Hornby Doubler. Let me just fix that naughty train as being a pain.
Oh, thank you, Lintree. Thank you so much joining as a member. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Great to have you aboard. Again, it's a really great way of helping to support the channel and getting extra perks as well.
Can I just say to the squad, you know who you are, that you're blowing up my wristwatch again.
Why? What are they doing?
They keep talking on the chat, on the little
Simon
group chat.
Snow has very, very generously gifted
Thank
10
you so much.
Jennifer Eco Model Railways membership. So Robert Hall, Ian White, Haunted Railway, Jake, Brian Toomer, Darren Caudry, Dinmore Junction Model Railway, Rob Gizmo, Tim Allen, Brett Martin, and Peter John Waring all got a complimentary
Thank you so much.
Membership courtesy of their generosity. Thank you so much. Sarah Davis. Sarah Davis just got home, just booted up the computer. Gandalf.
I was already awake. Stop knocking the biscuit barrel. What are you doing? You don't want to spill biscuits?
No.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Maura Curran, a big hello to you as well. Avondale and Holsham Moor Engage Railway says, I've just purchased 2 headboards, one Flying Scotsman and a Jacobite for my Lancashire Fusilier. Yeah, Hornby Double O, I believe, used to do them. I've got this dim memory of seeing... I'm sure that there was a means to attach them. The Bristolian was one of the ones I remember seeing. So they have been made commercially before. They can be a bit fiddly, but it's certainly an area where aftermarket suppliers might be able to step in. But yeah, I think they do look good, but you need the coach boards as well to match. Ben Davis says, Jennifer, my top 10. Great Eastern Railway Y14, 564 and Great Eastern Railway Blue, plus GER Grey, 2 Strathclass and HR Yellow, A3 New Tool BR Experimental Purple, yes. It's gone off the top. Zoe, come on, help me out here, help me. LSTR, yeah, you mean the London, Tilbury and Southend Railway Class 79. That's Thundersley. Again, another one that's preserved. Definitely the Z class always gets mentioned. I don't know why anybody has not gone for that. This is the list here.
Hi, Phil Yates. Welcome to the membership. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Bring back Merlin in BR Experimental Purple. Now, from what I remember, there were actually 4 A4s got Experimental Purple. Merlin has been done before, as has Walter K. Wigham. I think Woodcock was one of the ones that I seem to remember. The other 2, there were bird names. There were 4 numbers in a row. I'm thinking that a King class also got Experimental Purple, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I would have said that actually the best thing to do would be ones that have not been issued before. Q1 with steam generators, suggests Harry. I think the problem with the Q1 is it needs a little bit of work to get the decoder socket into the tender. I'm not aware as having it redone. Really nice model, but just no room inside it at the moment. AD Pullen says we've got Oxford Rail and Oxford Diecast on Friday too. Yes. Silver version of an A4 for the Coronation set, suggests Peter Jackson Chile. I know they've done. I think they did all 4 of the silver ones, which were Silver Link, Silver King, Quicksilver, and Silver Fox. They've all been done by Hornby previously.
What about Silver Surfer?
Andy Fryer's Junction. No, it's not the blue. It's the Experimental Purple we're talking about. I don't think I've got a King in blue, but yeah, there were several that got Experimental Blue. I don't know why we call it. It's not really Experimental Blue. It's British Railways Blue that then got superseded quite quickly by the green. But the purple, I'm sure there was a single King got the Experimental Purple, which is more of a Great Eastern Railway blue. Mark Wheatman adds their weight for the Northeastern Railway Z class. Was that? I'm thinking of the T1. I always know them by the LNER numbering scheme because it's just easier to keep track. But I know that the S1 and the T1 hump shunters would be definitely must-have items for me. I personally think of the 2. The S1, which was an 084, I think there's 5 of them, would be an incredible model, but I'm very much aware that the T1, which was a 480, so the same number of wheels, but the pony trucks at the front instead of the back, there was more of those, plus that opens the door for the outwardly quite similar A8, which was they were similar designs and basically different wheels underneath. I believe the A8 and the T1 could be made from the same tooling suite if carefully done. AD Pullen suggests Thompson A2/1 or a Raven A2. Actually, yeah, a Raven A2.
Nevermore.
The C7 LNER, says Mac Waitman. Was that the one that was actually it had a power booster bogie that was shared between the loco and tender? So technically it was a 4444, but for ease of classification they classified it as a 442 Atlantic. Naive Gauge member for 16 months is What's the blue rear observation car? Want one in N-Gauge. That's the Beaver Tail from the Coronation set. The only one I was able to get.
There might be one left at Sawyer Models. But we can't guarantee it.
I don't know. Andy Fryer's Junction might be able to tell you whether there is one left.
I believe there was some at some other local shops.
I
do remember someone commenting.
Right, it's gone off the top now.
It's okay. I'm just helping someone out.
Sorry. Vic Freak says purple locos were Walter K. Wiggum, St. Frusquin, and Merlin. I'm sure that there was 4 A4s, and the back of my mind is saying Woodcock was also one. But there was actually a much rarer livery option. Very few locomotives got it. I think there was an A3 got it. You're messing about with your TT120 then?
Yes.
People can't see that on camera.
Someone was asking how far I got with TT120.
Not very.
This far.
Yeah. PN Motorsport Trains, Great Northern, rebuilt by Thompson, would be nice to have. They became classified as the A10. There's some degree of confusion because they... Oh, yeah, sorry, you're right. It's very distracting. The squads, come on, you're supposed to be watching and paying attention. J. Paul Anderson says, I have a kit-built LNER T1. Great model. Yeah, and, you know, this goes back again to... We're not going to run out anytime soon of prototypes to model. Right. All of these are great suggestions.
This is as far as I've got with TT120.
Yes.
I have plans... But I need to finish the N-gauge diorama box file layout before I do anything with this. Because I don't want to switch focus.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still working on that N-gauge, even though I finished my box file in record.
Yeah, and I have so much going on.
Or what, and I don't.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to change the camera angle. So there we go. Hint, hint, Zoe.
Look at the peachy wagon, yeah.
Oh, name a game of YT. Biscuits! NYMR News says, I hope they do a West Country class rebuilt with steam generator. I think it will go. Oh, what's just gone off the top? There was somebody. Hold on. There was a Merchant Navy in experimental purple. That would make a gorgeous looking model, says Warbler Productions. And Glenn Scott Trains Hornby Woodcock in purple. Yeah, I was pretty certain that Woodcock was one. Yeah. Yeah, you keep moving.
There.
I've already...
Okay, I'm scrolling back down to where we're up to.
Right. Woodcock and Kingfisher. I knew they were bird names. Yeah, Speleokeer. Speleo. I'm probably crucifying that pronunciation, but Woodcock and Kingfisher were the other purple A4s, and there were seven A3s in purple, according to Peter Costa's book.
Andy, we're just taking the P, don't worry.
And yeah, don't worry. Steam Shield suggests an LNER B16 J21. Yes, the J21 is currently being restored, and when it's done, it'll be going to Kirby Stephen East. Incidentally, as well, there's a Northeastern Railway bogie stores van just been restored to an exceptionally high standard. That's going to be paired with it. And I think that would make a great model as well. So yeah, let's not forget the rolling stock as well.
Rolling stocks wise, I'm not entirely sure what we would need, except in TT120. We need a wider range in TT120.
Right, can I just say that... Oh, no, as you were. Right, DJK666 says 2 of my work colleagues have a biscuit barrel with F off written on the lid. Oh, I could get behind that. SHGP Media says, I need a J17. Yes, a J17. We do need that. So I can get one custom made for over 300 quid. Yeah. Leslie Gilpin Rowe says, the restoration at Kirby Stephen East is superlative. The matching Northeastern Railway composite too. Yeah, it's interesting actually. The history on that Northeastern Railway composite. It was one of 5 that were originally saved from the NCB. So the National Coal Board bought them from, I think, British Railways, probably in the early 50s, and they were used for like miners' train. They were then saved. There's like, we will get to the bottom of this, but 5 of these, they were stored at Concert Steelworks for a couple of years. Unfortunately, arson attacks, vandalism took their toll. So when they finally got to Beamish Museum, which is where they were ultimately being saved for, I think 1, possibly 2 got restored, but ultimately one of them was actually broken up and burned. They were made of wood because it was too far gone. And I believe at least 2, at least 1, possibly 2, are still in really quite dire condition. But the one that's at Kirby Stephen East is one of those 5, the NCB 5. And the standard of the restoration is really quite high, although that is a coach that I believe was originally restored in the 1970s. And so this is a second restoration. So somebody's... what
Warbler Productions has shown the setup they use for spotting the TARDIS. An enormous television.
Yes.
For those of you who are not aware, Warbler Productions is using 2 screens in order to go straight in and find the TARDIS.
What are you covered? You've got like stuff. What's the, look that there. What is it?
Foam.
Oh. I have to say, I'm still waiting for the Blade Runner-esque program, Enhanced 22 to 19. Beep, 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 beep. So he can see the TARDIS. Ben Tillett says, don't forget, Jenny, scenic items like buildings and trackside accessories to put on the wish list. I think a bigger range of working signals, working semaphore signals. We've got a reasonable selection of colour light signals, but semaphore signals, we've got the really great models from Dapol, but when it comes to slightly more complex ones, we're still waiting for any of those to hit the market. And a lot of people have suggested that ones done in the same kind of idea as Hornby 00 did back in the day actually would go a long way. The Monkey of Madness.
When you were talking about signals, what came to mind was, you know those big old CRTs that used to be on stations? They recently got changed.
Now they're like flat screens.
Now they're flat screen, but the old CRTs would be perfect to have a light-up board, to have a display in them, and hide a speaker in them with a range of options.
The next train arriving at platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd love to see. I'm not going to say maybe a manufacturer does it, but perhaps a 3D printed place can make a kit where you can put your own speaker in it, and with a wire down to its sound generator.
I mean, that might be
then
something
you could program
that,
your own.
Yeah. I always remember them having really bad phosphor burn. It was the scourge of the CRT.
Oh yeah.
Because they'd be displaying certain aspects of what was being shown never changed.
Yep.
So it got burnt on the screen, and then somebody at British Railways decided it'd be really great to change the formatting.
And they did it while moving the round
and
in a funny
way. And they had no
way.
idea that actually the previous things that had like where the time was, where the next train arriving stuff was like etched into thousands of screens, so you could still see that even though they'd changed the display. I remember that well.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, do you remember the when we were at university, the common desktop environment machines?
CDE, yes.
And because they never had the monitors go to power saving, so it was just etched on. And then when they updated CDE, the monitors just all still had these ghost buttons everywhere.
Yeah, but yeah, I love the idea. If a 3D printing company could do a kit for those monitors where the front is removable or detachable and you stick it together yourself, you could then put a speaker inside that and hide it on your layout, wire it up to something that you're going to use as a generator for sound, and then all of a sudden you've got, at the touch of a button, all your station options.
Yes.
I love the idea.
All right, Nick Girolamo's just arrived. Come on, Gandalf.
Get off the biscuits. Get off the biscuits. Stop it.
No, come on, leave some for other people. You can't lick it clean.
Then don't knock them on the floor.
Well,
A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons. Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
You're welcome.
Warbler Productions says, at my old job, the POS screen was burned into the monitors of the tills. Well, it was until they were replaced with touchscreen LCD displays. Yeah,
The worst part is when the touchscreen LCD gets phosphoburn, and then you're not sure where you're supposed to press.
Yeah. Anthony says, I have the Monday Club on the big screen and chat on the phone. Going to the Dog says, hi all, reporting in from slightly different time zones, so therefore I'm not late. No, of course you're not late. Love the Rolling Stock, says Darren Watson. Yeah, for anybody who's wondering what's running, we've got Hornby Super Detail Gresleys in Blood and Custard, but they are coupled with the Beaver Tail. Oh, thank you so much, John Pinney, who's very generously donated £5 on the Super Chat.
Oh, thank you.
Says, thank you, Jenny and Zoe, for all you do for the model railway hobby. It's much appreciated.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
That is incredibly kind and generous of you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so that's running behind 33008, which is, I think that's Eastleigh, is the locomotive. Interesting livery. I think that was one of the Gauge Master Collection Hellion 33s. So not quite the most up-to-date tooling. The next track in, we've got a Thompson L1, which I must admit was quite an unusual release from Hornby quite a few years ago now, but they just recently re-released it. I've done a full video on this, and that's paired rather anachronistically with my collection of breakdown train coaches. The next track in, we've got the all-new Bachmann Class 25, which will at some point be the subject of a old versus new what's the difference video, but we are quite snowed under with a lot of review products coming in with manufacturers sending review samples we've got to work through first, and that's paired with my breakdown train, which probably should also have some of those coaches in, but hey ho. And then also my latest acquisition is one of the new Hornby Gronks in Intercity livery 08570,
which turns out to be different to your other Intercity Gronk.
Well, there's two different Intercity liveries. You can have it with a white bottom band or a sort of like a whitey grey bottom band. Now, Piccadilly has the white bottom band, as does 08800, which is my Bachmann Intercity liveried locomotive. But this is the first one that's got the kind of grey bottom band. DJ K666 says, I'd like to see a class 421 4 sig unit. I think, yeah, Richard Knowles says, I have that very class 25. Yeah, it's 25057. I have to admit, there's a few actually. I thought, well, I need to buy one just so I can compare. It's a lovely model, but it'd be interesting to see how it compares not just to the older Bachmann model, but I want to compare it to the Hellion one as well, because I quite like the Hellion 25, I must say. AD Pullen says, how about some pre-grouping brake vans? Yes, definitely. They're probably, after you've got the really nice pre-grouping locomotives, you really need the thing for the other end of the train. We've got a lot of the pretty private owner opens, but in terms of brake vans for the other end, I think the glaring omissions are London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, the dance hall brake van. Hornby did a ye olde model quite some time ago. It's a bit clunky. It's got the old goal post coupling and is desperately in need of a retool. I would say that is right up there on the really needs to be done pile. With more and more London, Brighton and South Coast Railway stock coming through, I think it's only a matter of time before... Oh, hold on. Naughty, naughty. It knew it was being talked about. I just spotted that...
Everything all right?
Yeah, look. Naughty. I'm going to show you guys on this camera.
Oh, it's been a naughty.
So, the L1 has shed its load. Oh, hold on. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, stop.
Oh my goodness, now you're making everything crash. While Jen is doing this and repairing everything, there was a thing that we discussed before we came on the show.
I do want to come back to brake vans though.
We will come back to it, but while you're doing that, Jen's decided that what she really, really wants, because she's got a very nice, almost Victorian era or 1920s era, 1940s era even, little lamp or street lamp on the layout.
Mr.
She wants to
Tumnus.
put a Mr. Tumnus next to it from the Narnia shows. So we
Yeah,
decided
It's
that
there.
yeah. So
You just
we
seem-
decided that if we were going to do that, obviously,
Lord Al's Lavy.
yes, we have a Lord Al's Lavy on the thing, and that would of course happen to be the gateway to Narnia, and that's how Mr. Tumnus got to Weir Yard.
Absolutely. Leslie Gilpin Railways suggests North Eastern Railway number 13, which became BR 26600, the 2C2. The 2CO2 would be nice. Yeah, as that was Raven's experimental 1500 volts DC passenger locomotive. Not very successful, but surprisingly long-lasting, because the North Eastern Railway and then subsequently the LNER as well seemed to have a soft spot for it. So it just moved around in store and occasionally would get dragged out for exhibitions. BR didn't share the LNER's love of it, and it got quite quickly broken up for scrap. But it would be an interesting one. I could see that as being in the wheelhouse of either Hellion or KR models. But I don't think that it would... I'm not convinced that it would be a popular model. But then again, never say never. The Licky Banker, very limited geographical range, only one of them, and yet it's proving a very popular model, I've been told. Breezer707 says, bit of a question. Do you think Hornby will release much in the new tooling, seeing their Deltic has been delayed till the end of 2025? I really couldn't say. I suspect that there will be an element of a lot more in the way of railroad type models and re-liveries of existing tooling.
I would like to see a lot of both of those.
Yeah, I think there's. It's one of the things I always say, that there's this emphasis on new model, new tooling, new model, which is a huge investment. But actually, sometimes what gets overlooked is a re-release of already existing tooling, but in liveries that haven't already been done. And I do think
running number.
Well,
To a certain extent, with some of the bread and butter stuff like wagons, we need more running numbers.
I think that pre-grouping is getting bigger and bigger, and some of these models, they've been released. There've been several runs releasing them with different different running numbers in, say, BR livery. But the pre-grouping liveries have not been investigated and done. And I think that what's increasingly becoming apparent is that the pre-grouping liveries sell really, really well.
Stevie Film says he once said he'd rather be on the cover of Railway Modeler than Rolling Stone. And Rolling Stone haven't spoken to him since. That's a shame. That's a real shame,
yes,
man.
Or before. Mark Waitman says, oh yes, the Q6 in North Eastern Railway livery. I have a feeling that there were a few differences. This is one of the things that there's always a few caveats. Has the Q6 run in North Eastern Railway livery and preservation? Because that would normally open the door. But I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't mind too much if the slightly incorrect for pre-grouping version of a model appeared in its pre-grouping livery. I know Bachmann have announced the London and North Western Railway liveried version of the G2A, and as far as I'm aware, that would require a different form of firebox. Essentially, but the LMS rebuilt the locomotives. They got a new boiler and firebox, and that changed some of the outward shape that you could see. Now, I don't know.
That is extra work.
I don't know whether Bachmann are actually making that provision. There may be an option for slides in the tool. I don't know. Or whether they're just going, you know what, people keep asking for it, so we're going to do it. Saying that the J27 was never done by Oxford Rail in Northeastern Railway livery, but that's a livery that it's run an awful lot in preservation in. So I think that is, they would be leaning on an open door, and I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what the announcements are for Friday for Oxford Rail, but I wouldn't be surprised if a Northeastern Railway liveried J27 would be on the cards. Certainly they're doing the J26 in Northeastern Railway livery. So it would strike me that if they do another run of the J27s, that Northeastern Railway liveried version is an absolute must, along with maybe another batch of BR liveries. Yeah, Mark Waitman, exactly. They're doing the J26 in NER livery, so the J27 would be leaning on an open door. Simon Pitcher says, I have two of the Southern... sorry, it's just gone off the top, sorry. Simon Pitcher says, I have two of the Kerno Southern 10-ton brake vans, Isle of Wight, which are superb, just waiting for me to build an Isle of Wight layout. They do look really nice, I must admit. Was it London and South Western Railway livery? I did fancy one in London and South Western Railway livery, but they sold out so quick. The same with the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway 5-plank opens that they did. The LBSCR liveried ones sold out to pre-order, and that tells you a lot of what you need to know. That you can still get them in BR and Southern Railway livery, but all sold out, all three versions in LBSCR. Valley's 56XX says, retooling a body to fit on an existing chassis is nice and cheap compared to a completely new project. I would have said actually that the body is the most expensive part, because what's inside is fairly generic on a model. Between all the different models, there's a certain standard for a modern model that's hidden away inside. I would have said that it's the body that's the expensive part. Flymo Chen 1 says, someone posted an article on pre-1923 grouping locos in the Monday Club Facebook group yesterday, actually. Fascinating seeing the development. And actually, when you see some of the really early locomotives, now, there was a collection, I think they were in O gauge, that's going through auction. Might be O gauge, might be double O gauge, but some really early locomotives, things like Cramptons, 420s, that kind of thing. And there was some incredibly contrived, almost Heath Robinson looking locomotives. And I must admit, I was looking at some of them, probably the same article that you're referring to, and thinking, actually, if one of those appeared in model form, that would be a must-have item. One of the models, I believe, was Cornwall in its original configuration. Was that a 422? And that actually is totally different to the locomotive that is preserved, which again is another example. Columbine and Cornwall are two locomotives in the National Collection. I'd be very interested to see those done. RGU Models 86 as manufacturers should offer more what-if liveries, as they do seem to sell well. Yes, but what I would say on that is that they did, Rapido did the APTE, I think it was, in blue, grey and Intercity Swallow livery, and they seem to stick around. So you've got to be careful.
But Intercity Swallow is the best.
I know, but apparently,
Are they doing it again? Have you got another derailment?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you little bugger.
you're going to need your rescue train today.
Talk to the nice people.
I'm just trying to work out what you were doing.
I don't like it.
Okay, so Jen is currently trying to fix something, and it seems to have been fixed, so that's good.
I think so, yeah.
Let's have a look when it comes round. We'll see, won't we?
Yeah. Alrighty then.
Well, we will if the camera turns up. There we go. Right, so it's
Can
going
you
around.
scroll back
Beep, beep, beep.
down? We're like...
Oh, we are.
Yes, that's you, that is. But
you.
yeah, what if liveries? I suspect that the G2A and London and North Western Railway livery that Bachmann have announced may well be effectively a what if livery. I don't know if the preserved 49495 has actually been painted like that in preservation.
Honestly, couldn't tell you. But I do like some of the ideas, like the LNER lined red, or whatever, or the NER.
Leslie Dickinson, come on, Gandalf, you're supposed to be keeping on the ball.
I was on the ball. You just knocked me off the ball. That was very,
Leslie
very
Dickinson says, "Good evening, everyone."
A Monday clubber is never late, Leslie Dickinson, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. And yeah, Simon Trade's Motor Railway Showcase, the leader, has arrived now.
Yeah. To the person who keeps sending messages to your channel saying,
why
has it
did it
arrived
run
yet? It's like, well, what? Why would you know?
Yeah, it's like sending me a message. So, where is Backman's new? And it's like, I don't know. They don't tell me. But yeah, the leaders. I've seen a lot of people posting pictures of their leaders, and they are doing those in some what if liveries. The rail blue one looks weird, though. It makes me think of a Class 28.
It looks like the missing link between steam and diesel.
Yeah, well, which in a way you could say it was, but it was a bit of a technological dead end.
Yes.
Valley's 56XX has some double O gauge London Transport engineering rolling stock to run with their panniers, would be nice. Yeah, there was like some bogey opens, not unlike the pilchard wagons that Oxford Rail do. Mark Waitman says, surely Weir needs more Northeastern Railway livery locos. Well, I've got, let's see, there's two, I've got three. I've got three in Northeastern Railway livery, which isn't too bad. Alex Carter says, Furness Railway number 20 would be nice to see made. I agree with who said this before. Yeah, I've seen that. A few people have been suggesting that. Yeah, Furness Railway number 20. Is that the one? It's the Sharp Stewart, and I close my eyes because it helps me think. I don't know. It's like when I'm lost in the car, I have to turn the radio down because I can read road signs better if I turn the radio down.
Or the other one. I've got to put the light on so I can hear better.
Yeah. So I think there were 5 of them. So there is some degree of an option to do 5, albeit some of them had been converted to tank locomotives. So there is an option there to actually do some really quite interesting a range of those in the different liveries. Yeah, Leslie Gilpin-Rowe says FR20 is a Sharp Stewart 040 that had been rebuilt as a saddle tank and then restored as a tender loco. Right, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Iron Horse Railways also has a particular love of that. He does keep suggesting it. Just I keep missing the post.
Is it a Love Me Tender?
George says, just running in my P class, arrived today on the Bluebell livery. Absolutely stunning. I must admit, I do have 2 P classes from when Hattons did them. I love the Southeastern and Chatham Railway green livery, the ornate ones, and Bluebell in that blue version is sublime. But I don't have either of them. Money is always the issue. Not So Salty Sea Dog says, I agree with turning down the car radio to read road signs. The Tryheart says, just tuned in, saw the recent review video, and I must admit, it's nice to see Jenny's beaver tail as the first thing I noticed in the video. Oh, my word.
Oh, matron.
I cannot do
matron.
Kenneth Williams' voice, but the ghost of Kenneth Williams is currently going, ooh, matron. Anyway, Gandalf?
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Tom Marshall, Buggle Skelly Station as well. Evening
Tom.
all. Great to see you. I hope you are well.
Does that mean that he's late as well?
He is, yes. And Raymond Legg
A
says,
Monday clubber is never late, Tom Marshall, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. And Raymond Legg says there's an austerity that's been turned into a tender loco. Yes, there has, and actually it works quite well. It may still be at the East Lancs Railway, but it's apparently a really good performer, and it doesn't look too bad. Effectively, imagine an austerity with the saddle tank taken off and then a tender added behind it is roughly what you're going to get to. And it does work quite well. Tom Marshall, Buggle Skelly Station says, I've got the Bluebell P class on the way from a Curascale. Cymru Rails, great to see you. Indy Spaniel says FR20 was converted to work in the steelworks in Barrow. I believe was that, did all 5 end up there? I know that there were a number that were actually used at the steelworks. FR20 was one, but I believe when FR20 was saved, there may have still been at least one other still there. Richard Gruter says, sorry late today listening to old Shep. Platform 7A says, Ham Shackleton, you haven't missed much.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Well, now we know.
No, okay? I'm just scanning back. Stuart Higgins says, as I predicted locomotion number 1 last year, I'm going to say a Thomas Crampton who came from Ramsgate. Actually, we were talking about like a Planet or a Patentee.
I would love
or
to
a
see
Jenny
either.
Lind. There's a lot of early locomotives, and it's a bit like, I think it was Jennifer Horton that shared the link to the auction of all those hand-built loco models. There's some really incredible early models.
Yeah.
And actually, some of those would be an incredibly ambitious yet must-have item. Excuse me. Jennifer Horton says FR25 is still in steelworks condition with a saddle tank. So, a second one does still exist. Not So Salty Sea Dog says, on a previous stream, someone suggested a glow-in-the-dark play train. Still think this is a great idea. That was
me. I wanna see a ghost train. Glow-in-the-dark ghost train. I think
aim to bring it out for Halloween.
Yeah, the amount of value you can get from creating these memories with kids that will then keep the love of railways alive in them is incredible. And we need that in the hobby because the next generation has to come through.
Cymru Rail says, I saw those absolutely stunning locos. I want more of that and ready to run. I completely agree with you, actually. Some of those Cramptons would be incredible. I think the issue with that is that I think a lot of manufacturers might be nervous at the idea of putting a lot of investment into those sort of models, like will it, won't it sell? And that's where actually doing something like Columbine or Cornwall would be the way to go, because they're preserved in the National Railway Museum. Ham Shackleton says, ages back, I suggested glow-in-the-dark nuclear flasks to go on the wagons.
You could make a very interesting glow with some of the Citadel paints. There's a range in their paints of basically luminescent. They give out more light than shines on them. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And some of them are in green and blues. You can get all kinds of effects.
Yeah. Spongate Junction says, with the arrival of the forthcoming Class 87s from Dapol, we'd love to see a Class 310 and a Class 304 units to complement the Class 86s and the 87s. I think the problem with a lot of these electric units is, historically, they struggle to sell outside of their areas. And whilst there have been a lot of reissues of the Bachmann Class 411s, for example, they have struggled to sell, and prices have gone astronomical. With the rise of manufacturing costs in China, it makes a 4-car unit, in the case of the Class 411, same with the Class 423, very expensive, and I think that puts manufacturers off tooling them off from scratch. I'm just looking down. Indy Spaniel says, yes, FR25 was there to then move to Carnforth and now at Preston. I think it's in bits. Leslie Gilpin Railway says, which FR number were converted to which Barrow Ironworks was up to debate. FR20 was expected to have been FR18 and number plates were made. There's a bit like some of the identities of these early locomotives. They got chopped and changed. Records weren't kept. There's certainly no photographs or anything. It's sometimes quite difficult to know for certain the identities of locomotives, and it's actually usual for a lot of parts to get swapped between locomotives at rebuilds. So there are preserved locomotives today that actually contain a lot of bits from scrapped classmates. Richard Gruter says, my new Allbran internet is very fast, but it's full fibre. Christopher Bellamy suggests the Great Northern Railway F7042 standard tank. Anthony says, I guess we'll have to wait and see now. Not much info on the Hornby page. They do always keep it close to their chest. Now, I have to come clean and say I do know, because I've got the press pack for being able to do the live stream tomorrow. So
But you're not allowed to mention
I'm not blowing the gaff. So I'm skirting around it quite artfully, I think, because you don't know what I'm skirting around.
I haven't a clue. I haven't even looked at it.
Ben Davis says, Jennifer, if Rapido are making an LSWR train, I would like to see a Drummond P14, London South Western Railway Uri G16. Hope with Oxford Rail this week we get an N7 and Great Eastern Railway Blue. Yes, that's another one. I'm surprised they did the grey one, but why they didn't do the blue one. BR 22-ton Conflat. That's the Conflat L, isn't it, from the Condor freights. And a BR 20-ton Press Twin. Yeah, Bachmann announced that they were doing the Press Twin, the CQV. And then it all went really quiet. I'm not sure what's happening with that. Anthony says, Jenny, we are just discussing TT120 Pullmans coming at £60 each. Is that too much? Right. Unfortunately, it's like people always say, oh, it's too much, it's too expensive. Unfortunately, with a lot of these things, the cost of manufacturing has gone up dramatically in China, extra shipping costs as well. And, you know, it's a case of that's what they cost.
Yeah.
They can't reduce the prices. I've seen some of the margins on these. And for some of these things, you know, when you factor in tooling costs, they're going to be paid, R&D, all these kind of things. We talked with the gentleman at Hornby who designed the Black 5. And you're talking about potentially, you know, that's somebody's salary for 2, 3, 4 years where all they're doing is researching and doing the CAD work, designing the tooling, all this sort of stuff behind the scenes, not even in public, before you get to a point where there's a locomotive. And something's got to pay for all of that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is the cost of model trains these days. And yes, it would be nice if they were cheaper. But the economics is such that that's what they cost. You know, when you look at adverts from the 1970s on things like cars, seeing adverts boasting about the new British Leyland Austin Princess being sold brand new for £800. You don't get a car for £800 brand new anymore.
No.
But, you know, it's just the cost of things has gone up and
You
up
didn't
and
get
up.
much of a car for £800 back
Yeah,
then.
I mean, let's face it, it was a British Leyland product.
That's what I'm talking about. They're not exactly the
with
high.
Ruster standard.
They're not exactly the high end. They're the essentially entry level for right. You need a car. Here you go.
Yeah, or it's like, do you want something shit? We'll even paint it in the right colour for you. Morris Marina! Yeah, that's right. You can
My
drive
dad had
a piece of
My
crap.
dad had a Morris Marina.
Yeah, they were
I don't remember it.
utter garbage.
Apparently, I came home in it on my first night home.
Yeah, Valleys 56XX. Yes, absolutely. The Austin Princess was a sod-it. That'll do.
Yeah.
Although the Vanden Plas version, the upmarket one with all of like the power steering and the nice coachwork inside, was quite nice, but nobody wanted to pay the extra for it. Indie Spaniel says there's always leaks on releases. I am curious what
but
people...
there won't be leaks from us.
Yeah, luckily we don't leak. Yes.
Not yet, anyway.
I've got my special elasticated pants on, so we don't leak.
That is definitely going to be a short.
Charlie Chimp says, hey Jen, I'm a big fan of the Railroad range. Do you think Hornby will have a version of Railroad for TT120?
Eventually, yes.
Possibly. I think it's always their plan to cascade stuff in time.
Yeah.
But there's no models to cascade just yet for TT. Tom Marshall at Buggle Skelly Station says, can you at least reveal which band is replacing the Beatles? Or are we to expect more? I can't, because even if I try and lead you up the garden path, I could inadvertently cross things off the list. So
It's
yes,
you haven't got long to wait.
So I will say I have quite happily talked about there's nobody's comments where I've basically purposefully ignored them to not make it look like I'm leaking anything. I've not done that. So I read out everything.
Speaking of reading things out, could you read out what's on screen over there from Richard Swiderski?
So, Richard Swiderski, great to see you. Hope you're well. And incidentally, everybody, hit that like button if you've not already done so. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. And spread the word on social media. You can also check us out over on Patreon. We've got membership. And the Monday Club badges. Can I just say, we're down to the last 20 green Monday Club
19.
badges. 19.
One's been bought.
So one's been bought. We're down to 19 green Monday Club badges. So it's like last chance saloon. Severe low stock warning. Also, don't forget to pick up your Monday Club wagons. We did purposefully go with Daypole, particularly for the 00 gauge model, because people did say the last ones were expensive.
Yep.
I know times are hard, but we've got quite a few left. So do please support the Monday Club wagons because they're not selling as well as the previous ones. So there are plenty. Well, I say plenty. There
aren't that many left.
Well, to me, it seems a lot. But there's quite a few of the 00 gauge ones left. I think we're down to 8 or 9 of the O gauge. The O gauge ones, we're not going to do O gauge again unless we do it as a Kickstarter. So, it's it's a good little tester, and it's a lovely, lovely model. But we are going to think about doing Kickstarters for N gauge and TT120, and the next 00 gauge one we might do as a Kickstarter as well, because as you can imagine, even if you just got 30 wagons left, 30 times 20 is a lot of money to have stuck under the bed in the back room. Dave Scott Railway says, when will the next Monday Club badge be available?
When it gets here,
Chinese
we have
New
no
Year
idea.
is happening at some point.
Yeah,
don't know.
We just don't know. We haven't got a set time. It'll happen when it happens. It's just one of those things. So Richard Swiderski has sent us a message.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Richard Swiderski says, "Hello, Jenny and Zoe. Hope you are both well. Indeed.
Yes.
Another video for the Monday Clubbers. B161306 Mayflower passes a snowy beast and signal box in Cheshire, 19th of November 2024, on a test run from Crewe to Chester."
Yeah.
So there
November.
we go.
That's how far back we are in the backlog. Yes, it's
Really?
been one of those times.
Has it really? Right. So hit the lure.
Kick the buttock.
So
Here we
just
go.
ran in my leader. It's brilliant, says Richard Lewis. I'm so glad. Will Tucker says, why does Chinese New Year last 2 months in every 12?
Because it's a lunar calendar rather than a solar calendar, and as a result,
Oh wow!
it moves.
Look at that! That
has
is
to catch
very pretty. Now, can I just say,
I would love to see that sort of layout.
Yeah. Now, a word of warning about.
Beep, beep.
Oh, that looks.
That looks so cool.
Winter layouts.
Oh.
Winter layouts always look amazing. However, be very
don't
careful.
last.
Yeah. Now, can I say, be very careful about your choice of products, because they can yellow very quickly, especially with dust build-ups and such like. And they don't look they look yellow. It doesn't look like slush. It just looks like it's gone yellow. So what look at that.
When it was first coming around that signal box, you couldn't see most of the train. That was
I don't think
what's going on there?
I don't think the driver can see much either.
Look, it's a stealth mode.
Yeah. But can I just say that the Woodland Scenic Soft Flake Snow, I can safely say from it being on 4 seasons now for several years, that has the thumbs up of approval.
Yeah.
That product stays white, stays looking as fresh as the day it was laid. Warworld Scenics 0.5mm white static grass, it does go yellow very much. Yes, RG Models 86, absolutely. Woodland Scenic Soft Flake Snow is the one I recommend. I would simply say stick with that, because long term it will save your model from going a weird shade of yellow. Neil Cheeseman says head and shoulders above the rest. Rubster's Trains and Travels says, just wonderful this video is, Richard. Thank you so much. Ben Tullett says, no one wants yellow snow. Yeah, don't eat it. That Frank Zappa was quite keen on not eating the yellow snow. Stevie Film says, that's why they add smoke deflectors. Yeah, because unfortunately, in certain conditions, you get this kind of pall of steam and smoke, and it hangs over the locomotive, which means that the crew can't actually see very well.
Yeah.
Anthony says, get the custard creams out. Oh, I love custard creams.
So next up we have from JL Railways. Sorry, can you read what that says? Class 86, is that?
Sure, yeah, whatever. I can't read.
You haven't a clue, do you?
Yeah.
Class 86 arriving back at Edinburgh Waverley.
Yeah,
This will
sure.
be interesting.
Sure, why not?
You have no clue. You're terrible, you are.
Knockers Lane says, put your layout outside on a snowy day, soon get a real snow effect. Yeah. Whamgock says, come
Whoa,
on
that
guys,
looks
buy
real.
your Monday Club wagons. Let's help Jenny out. Oh, you guys.
I do
Definitely
love the ScotRail
do
liveries.
buy your Monday Club wagons, because we won't do another one until these sell out.
Yeah, we can't. It's as simple as that. We can't.
They are actually quite nice wagons.
But they're also
I'm
quite
gonna-
expensive when you buy the entire set.
Yeah, when you buy an entire production run, it does get pricey. We got them in O gauge. We got them in double O. They are different wagons, different liveries. So, Chorlington Station Motherwell says, missing the big news, guys. What big news?
Okay,
Somebody leaked the Hornby announcement.
Please tell me they haven't.
See,
Please tell me they haven't.
we know what they are. Well, I say we. I do. She doesn't. But who's...
What's happened? I'm just checking the main news.
Somebody's leaked and actually done a video.
Who?
I know we're not going to give them the oxygen of possibility. Oh, they're not going to be popular. Who's told them? So, video is on their official channel.
Yeah, this says join Mike. Give me 1 second. You keep going. Go back to main screen. I've got to check.
So
this.
if Hornby accidentally leaked their own announcements, right?
No,
no, it's somebody. Oh, I love that.
I'm
livery.
looking at it here, and it says it's unlisted. Someone has leaked the link.
Oh, so
Someone's leaked the link to the Hornby announcements for tomorrow.
right. Well, we're not sharing.
We're not
that.
going to. No, we will not. I'll tell you right now, we will not share that because that's not fair on anyone.
Yeah, I can guess who may have leaked the information to Swarbler Productions, which would have caused Hornby to do the release early.
Oh man, yeah. I'm sorry, but we can't cover it. We can't cover that. Yeah, it's big news that's been leaked. Up, Jen, can you press the button?
Oh, sorry. I was yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to read two things at once. Simon Pitcher says the O-Gauge Monday Club wagons are brilliant. Got to need you both to sign one. Certainly we will. Absolutely. Is somebody able to post a link for the Monday Club wagons? Also put up a link to the badges. Super low stock warning. We're down to 19 of the green Monday Club badges.
Yeah, Sarah, you're absolutely right. Whoever leaked it has only shot themselves in the foot for future news.
And that's it's what I always say when people say, "Oh, you had one job. Why didn't you ask them about why they're a novice?" Sort of thing. And it's like, because you never ever get asked
You
back.
never get a second chance.
Yeah, it's like, do I really want to make myself a leper in the model railway industry? By going,
Yeah.
Simon Kohler, why did you do this then?
Yeah. Centre Bounty says they bought a badge internationally. They'll pay cost to provide UK address. No. I'm aware that people are buying them internationally, and we've priced them in a way that we can absorb the £1 or £2 extra.
Yeah, we are able to still ship them out internationally. Don't you worry, buy with confidence. But what we will say to people internationally is it will take longer to get to you. I don't know where they go, probably via Eindhoven, but international postage takes forever.
Yeah.
Knockers Lane asks, the new JK00 wagons, rectangle tanks, are they carrying treacle from Minith Tatus's treacle mine? Could well be.
They could be carrying whatever you want.
Yeah. They're probably full of custard cream filling. being hidden in plain sight from Gandalf.
Oh.
Uh,
Next up from Anthony, here's a quick 1-minute video of my visit to York.
Thank you so much, Ham Shackleton, for sharing that link. Yeah, Sarah Davis says, don't use every unless you want your wagon in someone's hedge, not even next door's hedge. Although,
oh, tell me about it.
Royal Mail has started drop kicking our parcels over the side gate. Is it a new postie?
Yeah.
And it may be covering for somebody who's on holiday or something.
I hope so, because I'm sorry, but dropping locomotives and retro computer equipment over a 6-foot wall
gronk.
onto a concrete floor is not a good thing, Royal Mail.
Yeah, my gronk, and your mega CD as well. Yeah. Right, anywho.
So this is Anthony's visit to York.
Shall I press the...
Hit the lever.
Sunderland. Sunderland's always an interesting station. Can I just say that what surprises me is that there are hidden away disused platforms at Sunderland. I think there's at least 2 more platforms, possibly 4, which I found quite surprising because they're well hidden because it's an underground station.
Sarah Davis says my hometown. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Flymo Chairman 1, thank you so much for sharing that Minith Tattoos Quarries tank wagon. Remember, buy with confidence. And at the Doncaster show, if there's any left, we are going to look to be having them at the show. Oh, and I believe that DCC Concepts and Sawyer's Models may have a small number for sale via their stands. If you prefer to support smaller retailers, then we do understand. Oh, sorry, I got plenty of gas.
Yeah, these look real. They're a little shiny, but they look real. Hold on. That was really lovely. Thank you, Anthony.
Flymo Chen 1 says 10 plus available still. Yeah, we know how many are actually left.
Yeah, 11.
It's over 30. Anyway, yeah, Esk Valley Boy. I think if you get a driver, a regular driver, who is good at their job, then actually every aren't bad. It's when you get the ones, certainly as we do around here, where I think there's a lot of agency staff, so they just job and finish as fast as they can.
They John Woo out of the vehicle, throw the thing at you, and then try and leap back in before the car's gone.
I've seen them as well. The other favourite is to drive past throwing parcels out the window. I've seen that.
Thankfully, I've not seen that on our cameras.
They don't bother even checking if anybody's in. For all they know, we're away for 2 weeks, and it'll just sit there getting wet and robbed.
And eaten.
Yeah, Indy Spaniel says there has been a leak. I'm going to look into that. I'm curious to know what's gone on there. Warbler Productions says, I do intend on getting one of the O-Gauge Monday Club wagons. Just have to wait until the end of the...
Oh, it wasn't a leak. It was a mistake by Hornby.
What did they do?
We've got a message here. I'm not going to say who from. They say it was on the Hornby channel. It went live. And then it was pulled.
Oh!
And you know what happens then?
Yeah, somebody gets shouted at.
No, it goes into the notifications.
So
and because now it's unlisted rather than Premiere.
Yeah, so Hornby, if somebody from Hornby is watching, what you actually have to do is make that private, and then people can't watch it.
Yeah, because notifications have gone out, and the notification will work.
Yeah, and you have to make that video private. The chances are the best thing to do is probably to then re-upload it so it becomes a different video. And then, you're going to have to suck it up and have somebody send that out at the right time in the morning. But you've got to make that video private or people are just sharing that link around. And I've just been shared it by not the same person who shared it to Zoe.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you that now.
I know. Jumping, I wouldn't say that far. It's a bit of a boo-boo from Hornby, but I don't think it's a firing offence.
No.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, right? Can I just say, we're not being smug or anything, but we have accidentally broken an embargo before.
Yeah, mistakes happen. These things happen. It's very easy to go public rather than private because when you're uploading, the buttons aren't that far apart.
Yeah, and let's just say Hellion were awfully nice about the fact that we accidentally...
Yeah, Hellion were very understanding.
They were very understanding, and I think it's because Ben Jones from Hellion having been the editor of a magazine, it's like I suspect he's accidentally done a few boo-boos in his time as well.
Yeah.
So he understands that it's not malicious. But the thing about that was, and I have to say a huge thank you to, it was Kerno Model Centre, who privately messaged me and said, do you know that this is like gone live? And I, eternally grateful for them letting me know. But some of the little goblin just went straight and tried to tattletale us to Hellion.
Yeah, of course they did.
So I don't think they did themselves any favours. But, mistakes happen. And I remember one year Hattons made the entire range live before the announcement.
Yeah.
It's been done.
Mistakes happen.
So no, Sarah Davis, I don't think anybody will get fired. I think there's an awful lot of running around right now. I don't know when it's... Mark Dawson, poor Hornby, best to re-upload. Yeah, because essentially that link's out there.
It's so easily done.
Yeah,
It
Mark
really
Dawson says, yep, so true, Jenny. I always upload to private on YouTube and wait for the HD quality to catch up before making videos public. I think that there are definitely people running around at Hornby trying to sort this out. Yeah.
Sarah Davis, just a quick joke. Hornby's releasing a P45 tomorrow.
No.
It is a joke.
Yeah.
It isn't, but yeah.
PN Motorsport Train says human error happens, and JBM says it's
absolutely.
gone now. So
Yeah.
hopefully somebody listened to our advice, either making it private or to effectively delete that and re-upload as a new video.
I can find out which is which, because if I press the button from the history when it got shown, then I'll see it. I'll see whether it's there or not.
Or just say this video is no longer available or something. Is that what it's saying?
Well, it will say this video is no longer available if it's gone, or this video is private if it's not.
Yeah. Simon Train to Mother Rose Showcase says too late, screenshots are being posted. Why do people do that? Why do they?
Someone has to have that little bit of
that feeling of
jolly.
like, oh look, I know something that you don't. It's like that that idiot who to prove a point, I know top secret stuff, and went and posted on 4chan or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Top secret documents just to prove he was big man on the block.
Or the guy that
how's that working out?
The
for
guy
him?
that when I said I hadn't seen the latest season of Doctor Who, so didn't know what the big bad guy was. Someone immediately then posted who it was.
Yeah.
So thanks.
John Nutman says, hiya Jenny, can you say, please can you say about the model railway exhibition at Barton Peveril, Sixth Form College, Eastleigh, Southampton. It's on the 24th, 25th and 26th of January. Consider it done. Yes, Simon Train's Mother Rose Showcase, absolutely.
Apparently RM Web have locked the thread where the people were linking and showing screenshots.
Yeah,
So well
RM
done
Web.
to RM Web.
Yeah, can I just...
the
Yeah.
guys stood up and locked the thread.
Yeah, but it's like, it's those people, the same usual suspect. Now there are tens of thousands of people on RM Web, but everybody knows those same dozen people who are the usual suspects, always from their armchairs, causing so much trouble. Big hello to Laura. So, Gandalf.
The Monday Clubber is never late, Toto Wagons. Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to. I appear to have lost my voice. I'd better go and find it. See you later.
Okay, we'll bring some biscuits back. Well, Anthony says, ooh, lemon drizzle. Oh, I love lemon drizzle cake.
So we've had a thank you note from Let's Make Tracks saying thank you both for playing the Gronk It Up tribute music video the other week.
We enjoyed that, actually.
That was a really good one.
We need to share it again, because I love the fact that we've got our official song.
You do love it.
Let's make that number one. The best time to actually do it is the week after Christmas.
Because no bugger's buying records.
That's how a lot of things like how Iron Maiden got their one and only number one.
They still can't believe that they got that. It's hilarious.
Yes. So
I'm just going to bring this up.
Yeah, so if you...
he's done so well with it that it's now got adverts in front of it. So, excellent. That's good news.
So what you need to do is share that, because we don't know how loud that is. We have no way of knowing.
It's fine. Right, we always go to this level.
Okay.
Here we go. Press and C button, C's.
Okay, make it full screen.
Here we go.
Everybody, a quick blast of the
Gronk It
official Monday Club Gronk It Up song.
Jenny loves you, diesel shunter. In the yard, you're no front runner. Unappreciated, slow and steady. Metal beast, you're always ready. Back and forth with wagons trailing. In the yard, you're never failing. Rusty wheels and engine humming. Steady groans, always coming. Rock it up, rock it up. You're the one who fills the cup. Pull those wagons back and forth. Rock it up for what you're worth. Rock the 08 unsung hero. Diesel heart, but love is zero. Jenny sees your true intention. Endless work without a mention. Slow and steady, never flashy. In the yard where tracks are trashy. Jenny knows your secret song. To her, you're where you belong. Rock it up, rock it up. You're the one who fills the cup. Pull those wagons back and forth. Rock it up for what you're worth. Crunk it up, you're the one who fills the cup. Pull those wagons back and forth. Crunk it up for what you're worth.
I do love that one.
So there we go. Are we valuing back
Yep.
up? So thank you so much for that. And yes, for legal and tax purposes, it's not a cult.
The Gronk
Jenny,
It
have
Up
you
cult is
ever
not a
had the
cult
chance-
for legal and tax purposes? Your mileage may vary.
RG Models 86 says, Jenny, have you ever had the chance to drive a Class 08? No, I have never driven a full-size locomotive. Now, I've driven miniature ones quite a lot. Miniature steam traction engines driven a lot. Driven an actual traction engine once. But I would love to drive a Gronk. I've never even been in the cab of one. The closest I've been, I've done cab rides at various places before. Class 25, Class 20, both of those have done cab rides in. I'm sure there's others that have. I've cab rided City of Wells. I did as well. Beth G says I've driven an 08. I am so jealous. Not So Salty Sea Dog says other cults are available. Yeah, they're available, but they're not as good. PN Motorsport Trainer says ask Gloria LMM to drive his Ruston 48. We've got to get to Whitwell and Reepham though. That's a long way from here.
It's really quick if you go by catapult.
Yeah, you go first.
You've driven an 08 on train sim. So have I.
Yeah, right.
I went full on Gronken.
Anywho, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we've got an email from Mark Wilson, the waxer of the DeLorean, who says, the Christmas Pudding Rail Tour has arrived at the Birmingham Christmas Market. Class 58 with a Class 73 to provide train heating. So these are pictures, and we are suspicious that Mark uses a DeLorean to go back in time to get these pictures. But believe it or not, these are actually models.
Oh,
But
look at that.
Oh,
A Christmas pudding on the front.
I do love
it.
that headboard. We
That
were
is
talking
so
about
cool.
headboards earlier on.
Oh my god, look at the quality of his paintwork on these.
Dave Scott Railways. I see. My favourite little shunters are actually things like the Class 03, the 04, and the 07. Now there is an 07. I think it's 07013, at the East Lancs Railway, but I don't know whether it's operational. But I would love to like give that a whirl up and down.
The way he does these photos, the people look real.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shading work on these as well. It's not just flat paint.
But then it's things
does
like
so
the
well.
litter between the track is
Yes.
so well done, and it's like that kind of used look of everything.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not fresh.
dulled down.
Yeah, if I saw that, I would think it was a photo.
Can I just say the only thing which gives it away is actually the fact it's double O gauge track.
Yeah.
Because that track does look a little bit narrow gauge. If he was using EM or P4, I think it would be indistinguishable.
I absolutely agree. If you showed me that, at first glance, I would say, yeah, that's a photo.
David Shaw asks, can we get headboards for the Monday Club? Well, technically, you can use Monday Club badges. They're a bit on the big side. Let's just see. They work in O gauge. The problem is we can't really make them any smaller, realistically.
Yeah.
But if you're an O gauge or bigger modeler, then the Monday Club pin badges, which we're down to, well, there's less than 20 are left. So final call for green pin badges. Don't forget your amazing discounts are available on all the pin badges. So
These are
look
so
at
good.
these. This is just great.
It's ridiculously high quality.
I mean, the standard of it's the attention to detail.
Yeah.
It's that attention to detail that is incredible. Northern Princess Productions, big hello to you.
Hello. We have talked about the leak. It wasn't really a leak. It was just a mistake.
Yeah.
And it's been corrected.
Awesome Brick says the great smell of brute. Oh, it used to be Old Spice. Old Spice.
Old Spice for all
Do you remember the
people.
adverts? I always had to the music of O Fortuna. I remember them on the adverts.
Look at the way it's done. Even the cameras look right for the time.
And the uneven paving slabs on the edge.
Yes.
So these really are great.
The way he's done it, this is incredible. Like, seriously, these need to be on show at exhibitions.
I'm so people. He may have been invited to exhibitions, but for whatever reason, he may have not been able to or not wanted to. But certainly, I would love to see these in person.
I would as well.
We would make a special trip to visit all of Mark Wilson's work.
That looks real. I'm sorry, that looks like it's real.
And the thing is, I know exactly where that is.
That's from standing on a bridge.
But in Birmingham, I've stood on that bridge. That's where the megabus goes through. I once had the misfortune of twice had the misfortune of riding the megabus, and both times it went through here. And I just remember looking over and going, "That's Mark Wilson's layout down there." Laura says, bought my first loco of the year for my birthday last week, 86417 in mainline livery. Irritatingly, Hellion did a poor job of the intercity stripes, wrong colour and too thin. Oh.
Thank you so much for sending that in, Mark. That was
And
amazing.
John PW22 says, I lived in a Brute when I was there. They're the trolleys, the Brute trolleys. I don't actually have any here on... I must get some, actually. I'm trying to remember whether West Hill Wagon Works sent some. If they did, I'm going to have to paint them up and dot them around.
So, we've got an update from Mark Wilson.
Oh.
Sorry, Mark Wilkes even. I get the marks confused. This is Zantec, and he's added additional lighting for his layout.
Okay.
So we've got some
Let's
Engage
take
with
a look.
new lights.
So this is
Engaging.
Engage.
I love Engage. You get
Yeah.
so much in those small areas.
Yeah.
This looks great.
Yeah, Valley's 56XX, I can imagine. So I flew from JFK, that's
in
New
New
York,
York.
to Heathrow once, and it took longer on the megabus, London to Cardiff, than New York to London. It's the magical mystery tour of every town
Whoa.
centre and university campus, most of which, like, I didn't even know that a wet wang had a university, but the megabus is calling in at their campus. That is really good,
That is
actually.
impressive lighting. That's real atmospheric.
Night shots are actually surprisingly difficult to do
Yes.
with models.
Funnily enough, they're really easy to do with a cheaper camera than an expensive one, because the cheaper cameras will usually have an inbuilt ISO filter, so it gets the light levels right, whereas an expensive camera tells you to do it yourself.
John JMC, our guru of sound, is in. Big hello to you. Says, I need to get on with the cab on the 5-inch gauge one. I need a 5-inch gauge, Gronk. I do need one.
I intend to get a kit and build it.
Well, to be honest, I was just going to buy one myself.
Okay. That's really atmospheric. I love the blue tint. That's really
Raymond Legg says, why did Jenny say Wet Wang? Wet Wang is a place in Yorkshire. I needed a silly place name that didn't actually have a university to illustrate my laboured point.
It was either going to be Wet Wang or Hooty Hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a real place.
Mark Dawson says, best part of the Megabus journey is when they pull in somewhere randomly dark in the middle of the night to change drivers. Yes. And then all of the smokers pile off like making the most of that 5 minutes. Watford Gap Services seemed to be the place that they used when I had the misfortune of the Megabus to London and back.
Zantex says his shed lights are a Dayport light bar. It looks really good.
It does work.
Incredible.
Yeah, Harrick says Wet Wang has a great chip shop. Yes. And,
it's got to have something going for it.
Richard Whiteley used to be the mayor of Wet Wang as well. Their claim to fame. So next up, we've got this is
no, it's not.
What? What's wrong?
There's no link.
Right, okay.
PVAJ Clough Allen sent us a painting watercoloured trees to add to the model railway background at Buckland Junction. However, there's no actual link. Sorry.
Beth
happens.
G says, I second the Wet Wang chippy. Actually, there's a really nice one just going into Eastwood near Nottingham. As you're just coming down the hill, just round the corner from where Sam's Trains is, there's a really, really nice chippy there.
So, up next.
So this is Ham Shackleton.
Yes. And he says, 6.5 minutes of silliness.
But that's basically you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 6.5 minutes of the monkey. Oh, is there a tumble of clowns in tonight? Yeah. Right.
So here we go.
Oh, yeah. Hit the lever. That's a really nice back scene, actually. These
It really
photographic
is.
back scenes really do look... Dominic Zed, our Kickline correspondent. It is
Hello
amazing
there.
to see you. I hope you are well.
Yep, we are. Running.
PN Motorsport Train says, talking food is making me hungry again. I think when you finished your stream, hint, hint, don't go on too long, because we've got to get to bed in good time to be able to get up in the morning. We should share...
Why am I getting up in the morning?
Well, you've got to make it work. Live stream!
Why don't I just edit through the night and then go to bed once you're done?
Okay, well... Oh! Gronk!
Gronk it up! Gronk it up! Gronk it up!
Hashtag not a cult.
What?
For legal and tax purposes. That's rail freight distribution.
I thought I recognised it, but I wasn't sure.
Monday Club Wagon.
Oh, it's the
Another
new
Monday.
one.
There's
It's
the
the
new
new
one.
ones.
And so that's every single Monday Club Wagon. Actually, it is making me think that at some point we could do with a
We need a brake fan.
They
will be more expensive.
Yeah, a lot more expensive, it must be said. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you, Alan Reynolds. Thank you.
Is there more?
No, there's more. Yeah.
There's more.
Oh, look at the size of that! Whoa, that's a.
That's a 9F.
Closer to the screen, so it's,
that's
whoa.
2 9Fs. No waiting. That's
I
the
like
old...
the silver.
Oh, Billy's replacement speakers in
That was
crane.
so cool. That was so
Nice.
cool.
Nice touch. Nice touch. Here we go. Gronking again, says Raymond Legs. And Laura says, rail freight European livery, dark grey and blue.
Good. It's a good livery. It's not as good as
Yeah,
Intercity.
Bachman did do rail freight distribution on the Gronk, and it's one that I've been looking for ever since it came out. So I keep looking out for it at Clark Railworks.
2 9Fs. It's an 18FF.
Double F. Isn't that like Juggernaut size?
Yep.
Double F.
Ooh, green with red stripe.
Is that an A? Oh, and that's actually
That's a really nice
that
looking.
actually works.
Yeah.
It's on the car flat, but
Oh, I like that.
Clambaeth Puthgwingles and Silly
Go, go, go.
There we go. Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, says, Jenny, I got something great today. It's the first issue of the Diagostini of Volkswagen Collection issue 1. It has the VW Golf.
I think we saw that in Smith's one time, WH Smith's.
We may well have done.
Which we're losing in Bolton, by the way.
What?
Yep, they're closing the shop. They might be coming to somewhere else, but at the
So
moment
you're
they're
saying
closing
that
the shop.
basically Bolton is too crap to now have a WH Smith's as
No,
well?
they're closing the shop. Like I just said, they might be moving somewhere else. At the moment, they have to get out of where they are because they're demolishing it.
Oh, so that would suggest they're probably going to go into the marketplace.
Quite possibly.
They've been there since, like, I
The
was
80s?
born.
Yeah.
No, I think they've been
there since the 50s.
in that building. I believe they used to have one on Newport Street.
These are really nice weathering.
Can I just say, they used to have one on Newport Street because when they took down the crappy 70s facades, the old WH
Ooh,
Smith
this is
logo reappeared next to that one that got saved.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yes.
Oh, yes. You guys may not know this, but Jen and I are the reason that the museum in Bolton has
Preserving
a
heritage.
sign. We saw it one time, took a photo and went, what is this? Because it's from before either of us were born. It's a fashion shop from the 70s. And we didn't know, but a lot of people in Bolton, of course, had a real nostalgia fest over this place.
Yeah.
There's a place called Shades. And
Yes,
the sign is now in Bolton Museum.
And it's
Because
there
part of
because
our
we
heritage.
spotted it and went, ooh, and took a photo.
Yeah.
Did you send it to the local newspaper?
I
or
didn't
something?
send it to the paper. I sent it to a Facebook group that the paper monitors.
Yeah. Wow, look at that Spitfire. That model of the Spitfire has really caught my eye.
That is phenomenal. Oh my goodness, how big is that?
I don't know, would that be like, 180?
Well, these are all gauge, and that's huge.
Oh, sorry, are we riding? No, we're not. We're riding on double O. This is double O.
Sorry, yeah, double O. Yeah.
It's scale. So look, thank
Laura
you.
says that looks 1/24 scale. Yeah, quite possibly.
Could well be. Anyway, look,
Thank you
so much for sharing
That was
with
so
us.
much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, the Spitfire was nice.
Oh,
CP
yeah.
Model Railway says, I finally managed to replace my express and curved points with a Unifrog Electrofrog version. Success! My Hawthorne Leslie 040 standard tank can now complete a lap without stopping. I must admit, actually,
That was an amazing look
I've
at,
been able to
Ham Shackleton's
fit
room.
the AE model Stay Alive with the two fly-leaded capacitors. That fits into that model with the AE model's Next 18 decoder, and it makes that model bulletproof.
Ham Shackleton says the Spitfire's a radio-controlled flying model. Oh my goodness!
Yes, I could see that, definitely, yes.
I bet you have a lot of fun with that.
That's quite a model room. Avondale and Hullshaw Moor N-Gauge Railway says, like the onboard camera, anybody recommend one for N-Gauge? That cube camera possibly be a bit on the big side for it.
The biggest issue you got with N-Gauge is how close any other track or buildings happens to be to your
Also,
line.
it can end up being top heavy and just simply
Yes, it can
tip
fall
over.
You could do it. There's a lot of very small spy cameras out there.
See you later, Leslie Gilpin Railways. It's been great having
Thanks for
you
coming
company.
along, dude.
Right, anyway, so next up, this...
Leslie Gilpin says those cube cams do fit. So there you go.
They are.
A cube camera. I wouldn't go for a massive one like I've immediately forgotten what it was. Like GoPro, that was it. The GoPro Hero or something like that.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't have a screen might fit, but anything bigger won't. Yeah, Zantek's got a good point. Try a lipstick camera. A spy camera with a Bluetooth module. Yes, something like that. Something that doesn't have to have a huge amount of size to it.
Fair enough.
It could just be the lens. So, this
Meanwhile,
one is
back at the
from
ranch...
This next photo is from Edward Elric. He says this is his Christmas present to himself.
Oh, it's
And I think that's really nice.
It's the NG7, formerly known as 016.5, Quarry Hunslet. Oh,
Right, NG7 quite hungry.
Yeah, I don't know
What was that?
I think something decided to be...
Did something just brown out your layout?
Yes. I think it's... Right, Insel frog points are a nightmare on DCC.
You need some frog juices.
If I... Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You can't really easily retrofit them to a layout like this. Knowing now what I know, if I'd have known then what I know now, I would have steered well clear of insel frog points, or at the very least wired them up as if they were electro frog points, because they are normally the nuisance points on any layout.
Now, here's an interesting thing that Ben Tullis put up. I want to see someone put a camera in a DMU or auto coach looking through the front windows.
I've seen that in LGB. Can I just say, in LGB, Melbourne Sparks is the channel. There's videos in there where he's got a camera in the front of the trams, and he's got an amazing garden railway, and you get to sit back and watch the route.
My question is, how close to the windows are you putting this camera? Because if it's not right up at the window, you're going to have the issue that a lot of the time there's going to be a lot of darkness, so you won't see the interior.
Actually, it
if
works.
that's what you're going for, is fine.
If you look at the videos he's got on that channel, it works really well.
Yes, but he's doing it on garden. I'm thinking of indoors.
Indoors, you might struggle.
Yeah.
Unless there's no glazing.
Unless it's not good. But I'm thinking with a nice properly painted interior with a firebox flicker and a camera slightly further back, so you get to see the flicker on the dials and things. That might be quite atmospheric.
Ilmson TT says, "Yeah, the outback is nice to watch." It's more like a tropical garden. It's set into a hillside, and it's like a switchback layout that goes down. And I followed him for years. You never see him on camera, but his layout is incredible. And I've watched it evolve from when it was just a loop at the top, and then he started building the switchback, and then he's extended into where he's got his vegetable garden. Really, really nice.
So, what we've got here is from PVAJ Cloth Allen. He sent the link, painting trees in watercolours for the layout. So this will be nice.
So, hit the lever.
Have you seen his lawnmower in action?
Yes, the lawnmower tray. Now, so you may laugh, but he's got it's powered by those the same batteries that you use on battery drills.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like a little strimmer. But he's got
that's
one
amazing.
that does the track, and then he's got two either side that trim the stuff sticking in. So this is going to be a lot of talking.
I know. This is PVAJ Cloth Allen.
So
and he's going to be painting watercolours. So I'm going to jump to where he's doing it.
I must admit,
is this it?
I've dropped in on streams before where he's doing stuff, and actually it's really great to watch.
Seriously, is because we can't tell what he's doing. Is he establishing a wet palette before he starts, or is this just watercolour paper?
Yeah. Good night, Caroline. It's been great having your company, and of course, everybody, don't forget. Hit that like button, share the video to social media, let other people know about the Monday Club, and if you haven't already done so, then do consider subscribing to the channel. Check out our full merch store down below. We've got the Monday Club wagons as well in 00 and O gauge. Get them whilst you can. Do support this scheme. We've got a full merch store, and you can also check us out over on Patreon. And super low stock warning, green Monday Club badges down to under 20. Get them whilst you can, because when they're gone, they're gone. We never repeat a colour. So I don't know when the next colours are coming in, but you can get them to get some great discounts. The latest on board is the Colne Valley Railway are offering 10% off admission for those people displaying their Monday Club badges. So there's some great discounts available.
So here we are. He's sketching in his trees.
Yeah, I've watched
one of the colours that he's using is called Hooker's Green.
It's what green?
Hooker's Green.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's a person called Hooker that made it.
Maybe. Also, if it's the auto translated things, that they can come up with some humorous.
No, it's actually written on the paint.
Oh right. Austin Allegro Brown.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, he's getting there. Yeah. So it's not a wet palette. That's his test palette.
Right.
Right. I get what's going on.
I've watched some of his live streams actually.
He's very good.
It's really good to watch because if you're worried about spending lots of money on various ready to plant product stuff, What Alan actually does is shows you how to get great results.
Yeah.
Using simple techniques like this, you don't need to spend a lot of money.
Stipple effect with a thicker brush, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, missing run. Choo choo, beep beep. That's a lot of nice cars.
Yeah, a lot of car
Beep, beep,
flaps
beep,
there,
beep.
full of cars. It's a great way to actually combine a collection of stuff like Oxford die-cast cars.
Which we
with
seem
your
to have a
layout.
large collection of these days.
Yeah, I do, because my dad keeps buying ones which are completely out of
And
time
I keep
period.
buying them in those...
Oh, you get the
packs.
blind bags. That's
I
actually
love the
come
blind
out
bags.
really well.
Notice the different colours as well.
Yeah, can I just say, it's like this. It's the same when you do trees, making trees with the method that I use.
Yeah.
With different scatters, you've got to use multiple colours, and you see how they come out really, really well. Good night, Hanning's Rest Model Railway. It's been great having your company.
Hooker's Green was named after a 19th century botanist. Ah, there you go. A botanist most likely called Hooker. Well, wow, this is really... I'm going to move it on so we can have a look at some more. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Different styles of tree. Oh!
That works
That
really
is
well.
so good.
Yeah. So we shared the link to the full video, but this is
so good.
definitely great for things like back scenes and such like. Is that an N2?
It's a train.
It says, does that say Southern? It does say Southern, but it's an N2. It says Southern on it.
What's wrong with that?
No, the N2s were LNER, although that never stopped Hornby 00. So, anyway, right, we're
That is so good. Thank
you so much. So,
if you can jump back.
Gonna hit.
Thank you so much, Alan, for sending that in. That was amazing.
Absolutely, we've shared the link there. Well worth watching the full
shared it twice because
video.
it's well worth it.
Yeah, Harrick says, night all. Here's hoping for a lot of Southern steam tomorrow. We're going to be
We
here.
have one more video.
We're going to be live just before 8 to cover the announcements. We are sticking to the embargo.
Yeah.
Even though the usual armchair dwellers have been trying to go,
But they haven't done that in here.
No.
No, because
because
everyone
Monday
here is
clubbers are well behaved.
Yes.
That's why.
So we're gonna lead out with a quick message from our sponsor, and then we're gonna come back with our final video.
Okay, so here we
Back
go.
in a moment.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey. So there we are. Big thank you to TMC for helping us keep the lights on here. But big hello to... Oh, it's gone off the... it's gone off the top. So big hello to JD1533. So it's hello all from NYC. Great to see you. Hope you're
Hello.
well.
Hope you're having a good day.
Gandalf.
A Monday clubber is never late to do bargains, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Hello, Gronksy. How are you doing? Hello.
So, our final video tonight... Thank you, Gandalf. Our final video for tonight is a look at the Battlefield Railway Winter Warmer Steam Gala. And this is from Warbler Productions. So let's have a quick look at this. It's a big one, and we're only going to skip through.
Yeah.
But here we go.
And thank you so much, Ham Shackleton, for sharing that link. Don't forget to pick up your Monday Club wagons. We've worked really hard to keep the price down, so they're about half the price of the previous.
Oh, that looks cool.
Oh, I do like that sea cat.
That winter warmer looks quite chilly.
I think you need to get on the train and warm yourself.
Yeah.
Jordan Hunter's got his alarm set for 7:50. Excellent.
Yeah, we're going to need to be up and ready.
Yes.
I'm just going to edit through the night so that I can be
Never
there
been
for
to
you.
the Battlefield line, I must admit.
Here.
Need to go there. Do they have
this
any
looks like a
plans
chunky
to
monkey.
extend? Because I'm not talking to you, Monkey of Madness.
That looks lovely.
The Battlefield
Oh, wow.
line, they have potentially scope to extend. In fact, I think it's the
Is that
northern...
locomotive called Fred?
Possibly.
Cool.
At the northern end of the line, I have a feeling that there's actually where there was a junction, so technically they could extend in two different directions.
Wow.
3B Rails says, thank you, Jenny and Zoe. Another great stream. Thank you so much. Name a Gamer YT says, we'll be here in the morning. So, yeah,
what
we're
we got
looking
coming
forward
up
to
next?
seeing you guys
Oh.
in the morning. That looks like a 1-2-1 there.
Nice.
That's an RMB. That's a Mark II. That one there. So interesting lash up of different things.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you? Let's
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
quick jump on. Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, what have we got here?
Steamer.
Steamer window.
Good night to you, 3B Rail. It's been great having your company. You take great care.
Thanks for coming
Marcus
along,
Muggen
guys.
says it was 1-2-2. The 1-2-1 and the 1-2-2 they look the same to me.
It's amazing you can see anything in this weather. My goodness. I think that's the austerity going back out now, isn't it? The Hunslet.
Mark Dawson says a railroad version of the Class 91 would be nice. And Warbler Productions says that it's GWR 1366 class number 1369. Ah,
right.
I've actually got a model of. I don't think it's
How
that.
the hell is he supposed to see where he's gone?
It isn't easy.
In this weather? My goodness.
The problem is because of the low temperatures, the steam sort of like hangs in clouds. It's a bit like mist.
It must be. Back in the day when steam was the thing, it must have been an immensely skilled role to properly drive one of
But
these
not
things.
even that. I mean, it's like imagine in the smogs
Yeah,
in London,
trying to
the
see through it.
the P supers. I can only guess that actually they would have had to have gone at a much slower speed. There's the 1-2-2.
Richard Stursky says a blue Peter would be nice.
Yes, somebody did mention that. Although we have had Blue Peter, which is an A2, I believe, from
It's like the
Batman
railway
before.
children. It really is. It really is like the railway children.
Daddy, my daddy!
Flying the flag so that they could see.
Yeah, flying the knickers.
Yeah, so that they could see.
Yeah.
And I can understand why. That is a very skilled thing to be able to safely drive that thing.
Mad Hatter said they were going to extend towards Colville.
Oh,
Otherwise, it's being used by the
that looks
otherwise being
practically
used
like a
by the
painting.
Ashby Canal.
Jen, that's just like a painting. That is incredible shot.
Yeah.
Warbler, you've done a brilliant shot there.
If you got rid of those modern houses and all those people, then that would make the basis of an incredible painting.
Yeah,
Look at that, is it very
Oh.
atmospheric?
that is so good.
Like there. Oh,
That is so good.
that is really good. Is that I think that's a 28XX, that one. Then that is a BG.
Wow. The drivers would know the
second
line at the back
open,
there. They
second-
would, yeah, but you don't know what's coming up. Is
Yeah,
the
the thing is, if you can't see, then how do you know that there's not an obstruction on the line?
like
That's
a
the
cow
problem.
or a fallen tree.
Yeah.
That is,
And you
so
get no
good.
notice of the signals. You have to be able to stop if you come up on a signal that's set to danger.
Yeah,
You'd be very reliant on the distance signals, and it's a bit like you wouldn't go at pedal to the metal in fog in a car. Some people do. That's why they have
that's
to
why
use
there are
pilots.
accidents.
Remember, it's not an accident if
It's an
somebody's at
incident.
fault.
That
Yes,
way no
it's
one-
not
that-
an accident if somebody's at fault.
Yes.
Good night to you, Rick Morley. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sending this in, Warbler.
Yeah,
that was
fire
a
up the
brilliant
roof.
one.
So thank you so much for that. It's been great having you guys.
It has been
company.
amazing.
And look, we will hopefully see you tomorrow in the morning for the Hornby announcement. We've
Yes.
done a bit of wish listing tonight, and there's some great things. And what really is quite clear is that the Munsell Z class and Gladstone, the 042 Gladstone, which I think is the LBSCR B1 locomotive, those two more than any keep coming up over and over again. So I really do think that if we don't see either of those announced this year, then there's something completely wrong. Oh yes, Valley's 56XX. That's my pet thing. A J92. OO crane tank and ready to run. J92, the Great Eastern Railway crane tank. I think there was three of them. They were
good,
the
yes.
oldest locomotives on British railways, older even than the Terriers at the point that they were withdrawn, and it's a crying shame that the National Railway Museum, well, the National Collection, didn't claim one for the National Collection. But a J92, I think, would be an incredible model. Let me just change the angle. Changing the angle. Zoe?
I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Takes me a moment.
But also, can I just say as well, I mean, there were a few crane tanks, but the ones which I'm particularly familiar with, J78. Now, the J78, my thoughts on that is you would make it in conjunction with the J79. Technically speaking, they were like a stretched Y7, but Rapido's already done the Y7. But there we are. Anyway, yes, Lee D. Holden, completely agree with you. So many nice models coming out at the moment.
Yep.
We are completely spoiled. And on that note, actually, this Friday, we're going to be... what is Friday? Friday's video is the Rapido Sterling single.
I believe there's a box around here that you could hold up to show. You've got it.
Oh, no, I've put it away.
Oh, well.
So the Sterling single is our Friday video, and next week we'll be featuring the all-new, you pass that over, like being tooled up and shopping, the all-new Acura scale, New Junction will be perking up now,
Yeah.
Acura scale coal wagons, the 16-ton mineral wagons.
I believe you were surprised by these ones.
Actually, yes, but I was sceptical, right? Oh, it's a bit of duplication when they were announced, but actually seeing the models has changed my mind. If you want to know why, you'll have to stay tuned for next week's video. But New Junction as well, best of luck. He's moving his railway into a bigger location, which is always good. So looking forward to seeing the new and improved.
So he
New
finally
Junction.
bought the moon.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Amazing.
Him and Dr. Evil are up there with their laser beam. Right, anyway, good night, everybody.
Take care.
And of course, straight after the stream, you'll be prompted to move on over to Game Hammer Classic Gaming for their all request Monday Live. What are you playing tonight?
Whatever people request.
So there
we
you
have
go.
a request for Smash TV on the Spectrum and for Tomb Raider Anniversary on the PlayStation 2.
Okay, well, you go and get set up, and until then, you guys take great care of yourself. It's been an absolute honour to
And
share
thank you
your Monday nights.
And thank you so much to TMC for sponsoring us. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely, and to everybody who's got membership, who's gifted memberships, and who's donated via Super Chat. Take care, everybody. Good night.
The train now departing is the 2112 service to the Hornby announcements, stopping at Grove Street Yard, Mineth Tattis, Tattis Newith, Bolton Trinity Road, Boxton on File, Boxton Junction, Packham on the Back, that unnamed layout that Jenny said had a name and then it turned out it didn't have a name, Huggleton on the Hill, Eindhoven, Pittsburgh somehow, and then on to the Hornby announcements. That's the 2112 to the Hornby announcements.
If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Good night.
Monday Club for everyone, so come on and join the fun.
Grab your bum and sniff and say hum hum. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm just making up words.
Yeah. Oh, Zoe.
Okay. Bye bye.
looking around, I don't think I've got any sound locos actually sat on the track at the moment. Okay, so I've just had word up from the gaming dungeon that Zoe is ready to go live with Gamehammer Classic Gaming. So just got time to say, do support the channel with the Monday Club wagons. Thank you so much, Flymo Chairman 1, for sharing those, and also low stock warning on the Monday Club badges. Less than 20 are still available of the green ones. When they're gone, they're gone. The next ones have been ordered, but they are a different colour. So to anybody who's wanting all the different colours, no time of arrival on those. Of course, Chinese New Year is coming up, and they are coming from a factory in Hong Kong. So just watch this space. But for now, anybody wanting the green one, do hurry up, because when they're gone, they're gone. But until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying you take great care of yourself. Happy modelling, and bye for now.